nice sunny day today again. And I guess with that in mind, what was going on today? It seems like there was a drone crash, except this one was a military one, so more, I guess, combat related drones. So what happened here, huh? This one says UASAF MQ-9 Reaper drone crashes in Romania. An MQ-9 Reaper drone operated by the United States Air Force crashed during a training mission south of the Romanian Air Force 71st Air Base in Câmpia Târzi, Romania. According to the Romanian Defense Minister Vasil Dinciu, the crash caused no injuries as the aircraft fell in a cornfield in an uninhabited area. The USAF is carrying out the initial investigation right now, the minister said, as reported by local media Observator. And I guess on the page that it references, this one here says like what? American military drone crashed at Câmpia Târzi. He was on a training mission. The first images, it is like a translation. And they basically say pretty much the same thing, but I guess they show some pictures, and I suppose it did crash in a cornfield, as they say. It makes me really curious what happened there. Did someone, I don't know, intercept the drone signal or something like that, cause it to crash, or did someone just make a huge error in terms of, I guess, operating it? By the way, it's really expensive, and at the same time, again, I guess stuff like this happens. Most people are like, okay, whatever, it's an incident. But if you had something like, I don't know, like a toy or a recreational drone crash or something like that, didn't hurt anybody, still, it'd be hysteria like crazy. The double standards. This is a rough translation, but ultimately they say here, we do not realize what the cause was, but very often we talk about a combination of a technical cause and a human cause. We will definitely receive information from the US command and we will know for sure. Americans are very transparent when it comes to such incidents, and we train together with NATO troops in any type of weapon it was operated on by the Americans. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, I guess. And the other thing I read today, which was kind of weird, I was wondering why was this trending, like here in Canada? Myocarditis. I know that's been a topic where people say that could be, for example, a side effect for some people when they take things like the vaccines. Although I'm thinking maybe this is the reason why it came up so much, because apparently there was, I don't know, like a news conference or something like that, where this doctor, I think it's in Ontario, he had this weird statement actually, just about, I suppose, whether or not people should take the vaccine per se, but he didn't even use the word vaccine here, which is a little weird too. So you can see, like, for example, this guy posted here saying what? Listen to CMOH Dr. Moore. If you're young and healthy, then balance the risk of hospitalization versus the risk of side effects such as myocarditis. Really, since when? This is what we've been saying all along. So many lives ruined. Shame on many of you. So yeah, you can see, I guess, the video here, which this clip, again, he talks about how people should weigh, I guess, the risks and the benefits per se, which wasn't really the case actually. When this thing first started, it's everybody get it per se. Like, that was the general message, so you can see it here.
Why not just recommend it to everybody instead of saying it's a personal decision?
Because at present we're doing a risk-based approach.
What's the risk?
The risk, there's always a risk to having any therapeutic versus a benefit. You want to make sure there's a very strong benefit versus the risk. If we're an 18-year-old healthy individual, the risk to getting hospitalized if we have no underlying medical illness is very, very low. We know there is a risk, a very small risk, 1 in 5,000 that may get myocarditis, for example, and you'd have to have that discussion on the risk-benefit of a complication from the vaccine versus a benefit of decreased hospitalization for a young, healthy person.
So it feels like a lot of backtracking in many ways. Kind of reminds me like that video of the one in the US of, I believe it's the CDC director, where in one of those clips she was telling, I don't know what it was, students or something like that during a speech, how things change. Like, it's a completely different tone. As well, the other subtle thing I personally noticed was when he was talking about, let's just say, the quote vaccine, he didn't actually call it a vaccine, he said a therapeutic or something like that. So what is going on? It seems kind of weird, huh? I guess that kind of relates to all those emails and stuff that were released here previously, which shows clearly health officials were aware of things like side effects and all that, but it wasn't really communicated that way. So I even said before, if you know there's a risk to people in that way, how could you mandate anything? Oddly enough too, I don't know if it was the same case in the rest of the country, but here actually, there were times where officials were recommending, for example, kids who couldn't get parental consent or whatever, or didn't need one actually, that they just said go get it yourself if you really want it. I'm thinking, when does that ever happen? Could get these types of things without parental consent. Like, even that was a little weird, and when I'm thinking about it now, I don't know. It doesn't look good for health officials when all this stuff is coming out. Phone software updated today, and it broke the software for one of the thermal stuff that I use.
We don't know. We just kind of found him like this. And he's breathing, but, We tried waking him up. My friend kind of like pushed him to see if he would respond, and he's not waking up.
Eyes was moving.
Yeah.
His eyes was moving, I saw.
Okay, so he just kind of laid back down again and closed his eyes.
You guys know this person at all?
No. Just...
Hey! Hey, wake up! Hey! Hey! Fire department guards, what's going on? What's your name? Derek? You having a nap today? Can you take a look at me? Don't go back to sleep. Wake up.
You guys want to go? That's
How
okay
old are
now.
you?
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Hey! Wake up.
Makes you think too, in situations like that, do you phone, for example, 911 and be safe, or do you just assume, oh, somebody drunk, for example, or just, I don't know, wasted? Because for the most part, people were just walking by. There's only like a few people that actually stopped, as you saw, and myself wondering what's going on. Fortunately, I stayed, I guess, because they couldn't actually give the ambulance people, or the operator anyways, the proper directions, because he didn't know the directions. Alright, see you guys later.